I remember that specific performance, performing in the exact auditorium where Michael did it, just to get that energy and that feeling was incredible.
After the release of the Michael movie, audiences around the world were stunned by Jaafar Jackson's incredible transformation into Michael Jackson. From his appearance and mannerisms to his stage presence, the resemblance was remarkable. But becoming the king of pop was far from easy. Mastering Michael Jackson's legendary dance moves, unique style, and unforgettable energy required years of dedication, intensive training, and relentless hard work.
That put even more fire inside of me to want to work even harder, double the hours I was already putting in.
Behind the scenes, countless hours of intense training and practice went into perfecting every detail. From mastering Michael Jackson's iconic dance moves to capturing his unique stage presence, Jaafar dedicated himself completely to the role, spending endless hours rehearsing to bring the king of pop to life on screen. The preparation was so intense that every hour of hard work eventually paid off. After months of relentless training, dedication, and discipline, Jaafar's transformation became one of the most talked about aspects of the film, leaving audiences amazed by how convincingly he brought Michael Jackson to life.
The film Michael here, I'm so thankful. I just want to thank Kino Films for making this happen. It's truly a special moment.
The agony behind the artistry was something few people could truly understand. To most viewers, it looked like talent and performance. But for Jaafar Jackson, it was years of sacrifice hidden behind every move. He wasn't simply learning Michael Jackson's choreography, he was pushing his body to its limits. Long hours of rehearsals left his feet battered and exhausted, yet he kept going. The role demanded more than imitation. It required him to disappear completely, losing himself in Michael's posture, voice, expressions, and movement until the distinction between performer and icon began to fade. Jaafar later described the journey as a beautiful kind of pain. Every ache reminded him that he was giving everything he had to the role. The physical demands were relentless. For years, he trained his balance, coordination, and endurance, chasing the level of precision that made Michael Jackson legendary. Some mornings, his body felt so worn down that standing up seemed difficult. Yet one question always pushed him forward. How would Michael do it? That thought became both his motivation and his daily challenge. One of the most fascinating examples of this dedication can be seen in the recreation of Michael Jackson's famous 45-degree lean. On camera, Jaafar appears to defy gravity, gliding forward at an angle that seems impossible. While special stage mechanisms and carefully engineered footwear help create the illusion, the move still demands extraordinary strength, balance, and control. Even with the technology, executing the lean safely requires intense training and precision. The image captures not only the magic of the performance, but also the immense physical effort hidden behind it. The search for the actor who could portray Michael Jackson was a challenge unlike any other. Producers Graham King and Antoine Fuqua were determined to find someone who could embody Michael's spirit rather than merely imitate his appearance. More than 180 performers reportedly auditioned. Dancers, actors, impersonators, and viral internet sensations all tried to claim the role, but none seemed capable of capturing the authenticity the filmmakers were searching for. As the search stretched on, doubts began to emerge. Some wondered whether portraying Michael Jackson convincingly was simply impossible. Then everything changed with a single voice message. Rather than relying on elaborate auditions, Jaafar sent Graham King a recording of himself speaking. The familiar softness, warmth, and rhythm of his voice immediately caught King's attention. It wasn't a costume, a dance routine, or makeup that convinced the producers. It was the emotional connection they heard in his voice. That brief recording succeeded where years of searching had failed. It revealed something that could not be taught through acting classes or choreography, a natural connection to Michael's essence. After hearing it, the filmmakers knew they had finally found their lead. Stepping into the role was another challenge entirely. Jaafar had very little acting experience and had never carried a major feature film. Suddenly, he found himself at the center of one of the most anticipated and closely watched biopics ever made. Instead of being overwhelmed, he committed himself to learning. Acting coaches worked with him extensively, helping him build the skills needed to handle the emotional and dramatic demands of the role. Yet the greatest challenge remained physical. Dance rehearsals became a daily test of endurance. Michael Jackson's style demanded absolute precision, and achieving that level of perfection came at a cost. Jaafar trained relentlessly, enduring blisters, bruises, exhaustion, and muscle fatigue, while attempting to recreate movements that audiences around the world knew by heart. Every performance required discipline, repetition, and determination. The pressure only increased once filming began. Unlike a stage performance, a movie scene must often be repeated dozens of times from different angles. A dance sequence that lasts only a few seconds on screen might require hours of filming. Each take demanded the same energy, focus, and precision as the one before it. Through that process, Jaafar gained a deeper appreciation for the extraordinary work ethic that made Michael Jackson one of the greatest entertainers in history.
But also just to dance for hours and hours every day and look at it as a full-time job.
Filming a high-energy concert finale is challenging under any circumstances. But recreating that same intensity again and again, sometimes more than 25 times in a single day, pushes the body to its limits. Every take demanded the same passion, movement, and precision as the first, even when exhaustion began to set in. Maintaining identical energy levels from take 1 to take 25 required extraordinary physical conditioning and mental discipline. Jaafar understood that endurance was just as important as talent. He learned to use rest strategically, recovering whenever possible, so he could deliver maximum energy when the cameras started rolling again. Over time, his training transformed him. By the end of production, he had developed the stamina and conditioning of a professional athlete rather than a traditional actor, preparing his body to withstand the relentless demands of the role. As news of Jaafar's casting spread, many fans asked the same question: why weren't Michael Jackson's own sons chosen to portray their father? The answer came down to personal interests and career paths. Prince Jackson has explained that performing, dancing, and singing were never his primary passions. Instead, he has focused much of his attention on projects behind the scenes, particularly in media production and content creation. The role of Michael Jackson demanded not only a physical resemblance, but also the ability to perform complex choreography, recreate iconic stage performances, and capture the energy of one of the greatest entertainers in history. For Jaafar, whose background included music and performance, the challenge aligned naturally with his talents. For Michael's sons, however, their interests had taken them in different directions, making Jaafar the family member best suited to bring the king of pop story to the big screen.
Can we get here at the podium?
Gentlemen, right here together!
By this stage of production, Jaafar Jackson had already pushed himself far beyond what most actors would ever experience. Filming a high-energy concert sequence once is exhausting. Performing that same sequence over and over again, sometimes more than 25 times in a single day, demands an entirely different level of endurance. Every take required the same intensity, the same precision, and the same emotional commitment. Whether it was the first attempt or the 25th, the cameras expected perfection. Fatigue was not an excuse. The audience would only see the final result, not the hours of repetition behind it. To survive the demanding schedule, Jaafar learned to treat recovery as seriously as training itself. Rest became a crucial part of his preparation. Whenever filming paused, he focused on conserving energy so that he could return to the stage with the same explosive performance the production required. Over time, his body adapted to the pressure. He was no longer training like an actor preparing for a role. He was conditioning himself like a professional athlete preparing for competition. As news of his casting spread around the world, many fans began asking the same question. If this film was about Michael Jackson, why wasn't one of Michael's own sons playing the role? The answer was simple. Michael's children had chosen different paths in life. Prince Jackson had long expressed an interest in working behind the scenes rather than performing on stage. Bigi Jackson, known to many fans as Blanket during his childhood, preferred an even more private lifestyle away from public attention. Neither had spent years studying dance, music, and performance in the way the role demanded. The filmmakers understood that portraying Michael Jackson required more than family connections. It required a rare combination of musical ability, physical discipline, and dedication. Jaafar happened to possess all three. Long before the biopic was announced, he had already spent years developing his talents as a singer and performer. Without realizing it, he had been preparing for this opportunity all along. To better understand the man he was about to portray, Jaafar immersed himself completely in Michael's world. He returned to Havenhurst, the legendary Jackson family estate that had served as the center of countless family memories and creative milestones. But he wasn't there simply to practice choreography. He wanted to understand the environment that shaped Michael Jackson, the emotions, the isolation, the creativity, the pressure. According to those close to the production, Jaafar spent countless hours exploring the property, absorbing its atmosphere, and searching for a deeper connection to his uncle's life. Some days were spent rehearsing. Others were spent reflecting and studying. Every experience became part of his preparation. Michael's former rehearsal spaces soon became Jaafar's second home. Inside those rooms, he pushed himself through endless training sessions, repeating movements until they became second nature. The process was physically exhausting, but Jaafar believed authenticity could only be achieved through complete commitment. His dedication extended beyond dance practice. Soon, entire rooms were covered with notes, timelines, choreography charts, and research materials. Walls became filled with reminders, observations, and details about Michael's life and career. Visitors described the space as looking more like an investigative headquarters than an actor's preparation room. Every note served a purpose. Every photograph, every timeline, and every piece of research brought him closer to understanding the complexity of the man he was portraying. Then came one of the most significant moments in his preparation. Through the support of the Jackson family, Jaafar gained access to personal materials connected to Michael Jackson. These writings offered rare insight into Michael's thoughts, ambitions, struggles, and creative mindset. For Jaafar, this changed everything. The role was no longer about recreating dance moves or memorizing performances. It became an attempt to understand Michael as a person. Inspired by what he learned, Jaafar began adopting similar motivational habits. He surrounded himself with reminders, goals, affirmations, and personal notes. The walls of his workspace slowly transformed into a visual reflection of the discipline that had guided Michael throughout his career. At the same time, another challenge was taking shape behind the scenes. The film's sound team faced the difficult task of recreating Michael Jackson's unmistakable voice. Recording sessions became a delicate balancing act between honoring Michael's original performances and incorporating Jaafar's own vocal abilities. The results surprised many people involved in the production. Music professionals reportedly noticed remarkable similarities between the voices of uncle and nephew. In certain moments, the transition between the two sounded almost seamless, creating the impression that both generations were sharing the same performance. While technology and production techniques played a role, there were scenes where audiences would hear Jaafar's voice standing entirely on its own. The resemblance was striking. Yet perhaps the most demanding transformation remained physical. Michael Jackson's lean appearance had become one of his most recognizable characteristics. Maintaining that look for years of filming required extraordinary discipline. Delays, additional photography, and production changes meant that Jaafar needed to remain in peak condition for far longer than originally expected. Every meal mattered. Every decision mattered. His schedule became a constant cycle of training, recovery, and preparation. Crew members later recalled being amazed by how dramatically his appearance evolved throughout the process. As filming continued, the resemblance became increasingly difficult to ignore. The transformation that audiences would eventually see on screen was not the result of makeup alone. It was the result of years of sacrifice, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to honoring the legacy of Michael Jackson. As the transformation continued, Jaafar Jackson made a surprising decision. For nearly a year, he kept his involvement in the project hidden from much of his family. While rumors occasionally surfaced, very few people knew the full extent of what he was preparing for. The secrecy wasn't about avoiding attention. It was about protecting the process. Jaafar understood that once the news became public, expectations would immediately follow. Every rehearsal, every performance, and every decision would be judged through the lens of the Jackson family name. By keeping the project private, he gave himself the freedom to focus entirely on the work without outside pressure. Even those closest to him remained unaware of how deeply he had immersed himself in the role. Day after day, he trained, researched, and transformed in silence, carrying the responsibility alone. Eventually, however, the secret could not remain hidden forever. When family members finally visited the set, they were confronted with something they had never expected. Standing before them was not simply Jaafar Jackson. Through years of dedication, he had adopted so many of Michael's mannerisms, movements, and expressions that the resemblance felt almost surreal. For his mother, the experience was especially emotional. Watching her son move with Michael's familiar posture, hearing the soft rhythm of his speech, and witnessing the remarkable physical transformation created a mixture of pride, surprise, and concern. She understood the enormous pressure that accompanied a project of this scale and became even more protective of him as filming progressed. The deeper Jaafar traveled into the role, the more he realized that support from those around him would be essential. Fortunately, he found that support within the cast itself. One of the most important relationships developed with Coleman Domingo, who portrayed Joseph Jackson. On screen, Joseph's relationship with Michael was often intense and complicated. Off-screen, however, Coleman became a source of encouragement and reassurance for Jaafar throughout production. Whenever the pressure felt overwhelming, Coleman reminded him that he wasn't facing the challenge alone. A similar bond developed with Nia Long, who portrayed Katherine Jackson. Her presence brought warmth and stability to the set. During emotionally demanding scenes, she helped create an environment where Jaafar felt comfortable exploring the deeper emotional layers of the character. Together, the cast became more than co-workers. They became a support system. That support proved especially valuable as Jaafar tackled one of Michael Jackson's most overlooked challenges, his footwear. To casual observers, Michael's famous loafers looked ordinary. In reality, they were anything but. The shoes were specifically designed to help facilitate smooth movement across the stage. Unlike standard footwear, they offered very little traction. The soles were incredibly slick, allowing Michael to glide effortlessly during performances. For Jaafar, mastering these shoes became an obsession. At first, they felt unnatural and unstable. Every movement required intense concentration. A slight mistake could result in a loss of balance or an awkward step. What appeared effortless on stage was actually the result of extraordinary control and years of practice. Yet Jaafar refused to compromise. He wanted to experience the same physical challenges Michael faced throughout his career. He practiced relentlessly until the shoes became an extension of his body. Every blister became evidence of progress. Every bruise became proof of commitment. Over time, those difficult training sessions helped him understand just how much discipline was hidden behind Michael Jackson's seemingly effortless performances. Meanwhile, director Antoine Fuqua continued emphasizing a crucial principle throughout production. This film was not intended to be an impersonation. Fuqua had no interest in creating a simple imitation of Michael Jackson. Audiences had already seen countless impersonators over the years. What he wanted was something deeper and more authentic. He wanted the humanity behind the icon. Jaafar embraced that philosophy completely. Instead of focusing solely on copying Michael's movements, he began studying the emotions behind them. Why did Michael lower his head at a certain moment? Why did he pause before a particular gesture? What emotions were hidden behind a glance, a smile, or a movement across the stage? The answers transformed his performance. Each dance move became more than choreography. Each gesture became part of a story. Each expression revealed another layer of the man behind the legend. As filming progressed, members of the Jackson family began seeing the results for themselves. One of the most memorable moments reportedly came when Katherine Jackson observed Jaafar during rehearsals. Those present described a powerful silence filling the room as she watched him perform. Years of preparation, sacrifice, and dedication had finally produced something extraordinary. For Jaafar, the reactions of those who had known Michael personally carried more weight than any review, headline, or social media reaction ever could. It was a reminder that his mission was never simply to recreate Michael Jackson. His mission was to honor him, and with every passing day, he moved one step closer to achieving that goal. As production entered its final stages, director Antoine Fuqua continued to remind everyone of a simple rule: this film would not be built on imitation. The goal was never to create another Michael Jackson impersonator. Instead, the mission was to capture the spirit, emotions, and humanity behind one of the most famous entertainers in history. Jaafar embraced that challenge completely. He stopped focusing solely on choreography and began studying the meaning behind every movement. The tilt of a hat, the pause before a turn, the expression in Michael's eyes during a performance. Each detail carried emotional significance. He wanted to understand not only how Michael moved, but why he moved that way. One of the most emotional moments came when members of the Jackson family witnessed the transformation for themselves. Seeing Jaafar dressed in costume was one thing. Watching him embody Michael's mannerisms and energy was something entirely different. Family members reportedly found the resemblance astonishing, with some struggling to believe what they were seeing. For Jaafar, earning the approval of those who knew Michael best meant more than any review or box office result. Their reactions reassured him that the years of sacrifice and preparation had not been in vain. Yet another challenge still remained: the fans. Michael Jackson's fanbase is one of the most passionate and knowledgeable in entertainment history. The moment Jaafar's casting was announced, every aspect of his appearance and performance came under intense scrutiny. Fans analyzed his voice, his movements, his facial expressions, and even the smallest physical details. Rather than viewing this attention as a burden, Jaafar turned it into an advantage. He studied fan discussions, archived performances, interviews, and rare footage. The same fans who demanded perfection became an unexpected source of information. Their dedication helped him uncover details that might otherwise have been overlooked. Then came one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire production: the filming of Man in the Mirror. By the time cameras rolled, years of preparation had led to this point. As Jaafar performed the scene, something changed on set. Crew members watched in silence. The atmosphere became unusually emotional. According to people present, the performance carried a level of authenticity that affected everyone in the room. When the scene ended, nobody immediately spoke. The cameras stopped rolling, but the silence remained. Some crew members reportedly became emotional. Others simply stood still, processing what they had witnessed. For a brief moment, the line between performance and memory seemed to disappear. When filming finally wrapped, there were no grand celebrations for Jaafar. Instead, he found himself facing a challenge he had never anticipated. After spending years immersed in Michael Jackson's world, he had to rediscover his own identity. The transformation had become such a significant part of his life that stepping away from the character felt strange. The routines, the training, the research, and the constant focus on Michael's life had defined his daily existence for years. Now it was over. Slowly, he began returning to his own music, his own ambitions, and his own future. While Michael's influence would always remain part of him, Jaafar understood that he could not live forever in someone else's shadow. The project had started as a tribute to his uncle. It ended as a journey that transformed him personally. As interviews continued ahead of the film's release, Jaafar shared memories of Michael that had guided him throughout the process. Unlike the larger-than-life performer the world knew, he remembered a softer side of his uncle. Family gatherings, quiet conversations, playful moments, and memories from Neverland all helped shape the emotional foundation of his performance. These personal experiences allowed him to portray not only the superstar seen by millions, but also the human being known by family and friends. Meanwhile, reactions within the Jackson family remained varied. Some family members publicly supported the project, praising Jaafar's dedication and commitment. Others expressed reservations about certain creative decisions. Like many films based on real events, the biopic sparked debate about how best to tell such a complex story. Adding to the challenges, the production encountered significant legal complications during post-production. Certain storylines originally planned for the film reportedly had to be reconsidered due to legal concerns, leading to costly rewrites and reshoots. These changes forced the filmmakers to adjust parts of the narrative while still attempting to preserve the overall vision of the project. Despite those obstacles, the film moved forward. For Jaafar, however, the story was never really about contracts, controversies, or production challenges. It was about honoring Michael Jackson. Every injury, every sleepless night, every dance step, every note sung, every sacrifice made during the years of preparation had been driven by a single goal, paying tribute to the man who inspired generations around the world. By the end of the journey, Jaafar had accomplished something many believed impossible. He had not merely copied Michael Jackson's appearance or performances. He had dedicated years of his life to understanding the person behind the legend. The result was more than a role. It was a personal mission, a tribute built on discipline, sacrifice, and respect. And when audiences finally see the finished film, they won't just be watching a performance. They'll be witnessing the culmination of years of relentless dedication from a performer determined to honor one of the greatest entertainers in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jaafar Jackson's incredible transformation, be sure to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Do you think Jaafar was the right choice to portray Michael Jackson? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the world of entertainment.